Hello lovely people, a warm welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is doing well by God's grace. So today I'm going to share with you this rose shaped meat pie. Okay, so I saw this people shaping pastries, appetizers and fondants like this, okay, for their cake decorations and for some other things, and I thought, can I make my meat pie like that? And so here we are. I tried it. It works. It looks beautiful. It tastes amazing because it's meat pie anyway, and it will wow your guest when you make your meat pie like this and you serve it, especially the takeaway one. So join me and I'll show you how. So first of all, we'll make our filling, and these are our ingredients, okay? So in my frying pan, I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil. You can use any oil that you want. And then I'm adding my minced beef, okay? So if you want fish filling, you can make your own fish filling or whatever filling you want. But I just want you to pay attention to this filling, right? So here, the juices have been released, and I'm going to skim this. I'll set this aside, and I will use this to mix with my corn flour to thicken my filling later. Okay, so you see that, right? So what I want you to know is to look at the sizes of the onions or the ingredients. Okay, so because of here is my green chilies, right? Okay, I'm going to be adding some black pepper. Here I have some ginger and garlic that I have grated. Okay, so you try and cut your ingredients as small as possible. That was the black pepper, okay, because of the way we're going to be shaping the meat pie, okay. So I grated my carrot instead of me probably cutting it, chopping it, whatever. I grated it so that it looks very small. So I've added some vegetable bouillon, okay. I'll give it a stir to make sure everything is mixed. And here goes in my corn flour, okay. It goes into the juices that we poured earlier on, right? Okay, so I'll add it to it to thicken the mixture. Then I will add my spring onions, okay? So you cut it as small as possible. Otherwise, it will be too bulky. And when you are rolling your meat pie, okay, it will be a problem, okay? So here, I have my flour and I have my, butter, right? So I'm using stock. So I have proper butter and normal margarine, okay? So I'm going to grate some garlic, okay? So I have 3 cloves of garlic, and then 1 shallot or 1 shallot that I'm going to mix with this flour, okay. So I've got about 1,200 grams, not about 1,200 grams of plain flour, 500 grams of butter, okay, or margarine, and 50 grams of proper butter. So I'm adding some nutmeg as well. I should have added to the dry ingredients earlier, but it doesn't matter. It will still mix up very well. So I'm going to mix everything together at this point, okay. Then I'll add in the fats, right? So for the fat, I'm using stock, and stock is usually used for for cake, okay, and for biscuits and for stuff like that, okay. So it's butter like. This stock is butter like, so it's rich. That's why I'm not using a lot, okay. And I've added proper butter. Proper butter is also extremely rich. So that's why the ratio is different to what I used to, or the recipe I've previously used, okay. It works perfectly. It's amazing. So if you have access to stock, you can just go by. I'm going to put all the measurements in the description box, including the ingredients for you, okay. So I mix it nicely, and I make a hole in it or a well in it, and then I add milk. You can add water at this point, but I want my dough to be rich and nice, okay. Or you can add milk powder to the dry ingredients, okay, instead of then you add water to it later. It all works, okay. So here I'm just trying to bring the dough together, put everything together. Once it comes together, I will wrap it with cling film, and then I will leave it in the freezer, not the freezer, the fridge, for 2 refrigerator. That's what I mean by refrigerator, okay. for 20 minutes before rolling it. So if you notice, I didn't pour in all the milk at once, okay? So you pour it little by little, okay? So once everything is formed, you form a bit, you put it aside, you form a bit, you put it. If you pour all the milk or all the water, your dough can become extremely wet, which is very difficult to work with, okay? So you pour it little by little, you form it into a ball, and then you keep on adding, then later on, you put everything together as I did it. You can go back to watch it. If to make it very clear to you, okay? So yeah, I just put it in a cling film as you see me do it. Then it goes into the fridge, right? So it's been 20 minutes. My filling has cooled down, and I'm ready to roll my pie, okay? So I bring out the dough, and I'm going to cut it into 4, and then I'll roll one section, okay? So 1/4, I'll roll it out, and then I'll show you. I'll cut it into circles, and then I'll show you how I make what I'm making, and yes, I'll show you how I turn this into a flower or a rose, okay? So as I'm rolling, because the dough is rich, sometimes you encounter difficulties and the dough will rip and stuff, so okay? So I wasn't too careful, and the dough ripped. As you see it here, it rips. When it happens like that, I'm going to show you a hack how you can seal it back, okay? So what you do is you put it on, you overlap it a little bit, put a parchment paper on it, and roll it. So once you roll it, it will all form like you see, seamlessly. It's nicely formed. So don't stress that, oh, my dough is broken or my dough has ripped and now I have to form it all into a ball and start over again. No, you can just fix it that way, right? So here I have a cutter. So you need a small cutter. If you use a big cutter, your meat pie will come out really huge, very big, okay? So extremely big, and it will be too much, okay? Because don't forget, if you're making meat pie, you just cut it out, one, and then you fold it over. But here, you're going to be adding 3 different pieces of cut out dough. So as you see me do. So once I cut it, I decided to thin it out a bit to make it thinner, okay? The thinner, the better. Because when you bake it, it will expand, okay? It will expand, and then it will be very big, okay? But we want it sizable, nice, and cute, right? So I was just speaking over what I was doing, but what I did is I overlapped all the 4 circles, okay? So if you want it like more defined, you can make more circles, okay? Or less defined, less circles. But I think 3 or 4 circles are enough. It will work, okay? So you fold it over, okay? And you try to seal where the filling is, right? I'll show you again, and I'll tell you what I mean. And then you roll it. You roll it gently and tightly. Make sure it's tight, okay? Because if you don't tighten it up, when you bake it and you seal it at the bottom, otherwise it will open up and it will be everywhere. If you don't tighten it up, it will be loose. And when you bake it, it will be open. It will be blah, like that. If you like it that way, no problem. But as much as possible, make sure it's nice and tight. And when you finish, you open up the petals, okay? So this is the next one that I've rolled out. I am overlapping it. You can overlap it anyhow you want, okay? Anyway. And then I roll it out a bit so that it seals. So that's why I roll the middle, so that the overlapping will seal. And when you're filling it, don't go too haywire on the filling. Just a little bit. Crazy. Then you line it up like that. Then you roll it over. Okay, so as you see me do, I just went on and rolled it. Did I not show how I seal the thing up? I did. Maybe in the beginning, that's how I did. So you go to the beginning, you see what I mean. Okay, so sometimes it breaks. So as you saw this one, it broke. So you try and seal it up with the dough that is around. That's all, and that's fine. So here I have 1 egg, added some milk, and then beat it. And I'm going to egg wash it. Today we are proper egg washing because it is egg, it's not milk. So egg wash it nicely and you bake it, all right? You bake it I baked mine for 20 not for 20, I mean 200 degrees Celsius for about 30 to 35 minutes, okay? So nice and gentle and slow. And there we have it. Nice and beautiful. And it tastes amazing. It tastes just like meat pie. So yeah, so I'll open it up for you to see how it looks like. You can see some of the cracks. So when you fill it up too much and you're rolling it, you get cracks, okay? And as it expands, so you need to tighten it a bit as well, so making it a bit tricky. So let's break it up and see which one do I want to break up. So just pipe, normal pipe. So the filling is in there, all around it. And it tastes delicious. So thanks for joining me today, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.